What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wizard101. So we're continuing on with the guides here today. We're going to go over the new Aeon gear and how to get the gear and what dungeons you need to run to get the specific pieces of the gear. So we're a little late with this video. I know it's been a few months since Novus has come out, but I have just gotten word of it like maybe a month ago, and the walkthrough just finished today as I'm recording this video. So we've gotten the Aeon gear on pretty much all of my characters, so I'll be releasing videos on their 160 setups, including Blake, who is currently on right now. So we'll be going over that and how to get the new best gear in the game, pretty much for level 160. You can still try to get packs in the game. I mean, there's new packs coming out every now and then that may have, gear that might be that you might want to look into. So, yeah, let's go ahead and equip our mount here. Where's my fire culture? There's my fire culture. So, I'm going to be pretty much just, going over where to find each of the pieces of Aeon gear to complete your setup. So let's go ahead and look at the base stats for Blake, though. So now Blake, he is currently wearing these items. So we still use the Dragoon amulet because the amulets aren't really that great compared to the Dragoon or the Merciless. It gives you more health and more resistance for every school, but everything else is pretty much not as great, and the spells they give aren't great either. So really, they give the same sockets and everything, so amulets aren't really worth it in my opinion. But if you need resistance and you want to go for maybe resistance, you can try going for the Aeon amulets, but this is my fire character, so I don't really need it, or I don't really need it anyways for the resistance set, because there's still amulets that can give just as much resistance as the Aeon one. Mounts, still using Golter mounts. My pet is Ultra Scratchy Fiddlesaur. We'll just look into more of this setup later, and of course I got all the primordial Aeon gear, as you guys can see. We'll look into that more, but let's just go base stats. So yeah, with this gear, fire is at 204 damage, which, surprised me, because when you look at the Storm with the Aeon gear, Storm has 207. So Storm has slightly taken a lead of Fire when it comes to damage now. But that doesn't really matter though, because Fire still has more health and there's resistance and whatnot. So yeah. Also, armor pierce is crazy with this gear, I will say. So resistance is solid, 33. It's higher for other schools. It just depends what school you are. Accuracy is up there, 30%. It's crit, 709. You'll have other schools as well once you get some of the new jewels and whatnot. Armor pierce is crazy, yeah, 53% armor pierce with this gear. Power pip's only 99. So this is kind of weird, because once you put all the primordial gear on, including the deck, your power pips are pretty much going to be 99, unless you're certain schools, because certain schools do have over 100% life, and I think balance for sure has over 100, even with the Aeon gear switched. So it just depends what school, but it seems like all the hitting schools have 99% with this gear on if they switch to the different deck. But Archmastery rating will go up, though, with the new Primordial Aeon decks, or the Aeon decks in general. You'll get more rating for that. So, and you also get more health, and you can switch to different spells by crafting them. I'll show you guys here shortly. So, what you want to do, and Kanadas, to craft the gear. So once you stand here at the middle, if you just go down this right path here, you'll see this monkey butler guy in this corner here, named Louis Guriel Altuve. So if you get enough of the downgraded versions, which is the Masterpiece Athames, or Masterpiece Hat, Robe, Boots, Wand, whatever. If you get the Masterpiece of those items, if you get 9 of them, and you get 60 pixels, and then 20 polygons, you can craft the Aeon weapons. So this is how you get the Aeon weapons if you're going the crafting route. You can get the drops from the bosses like normal, but they're going to be pretty rare. Also, you want to make sure you put in shared bank, so eventually when your other characters get up there, you know, you can just give it to them, and you don't have to craft it again. So we'll be going over how to get these polygons and these pixels here as well in this video, so you guys can get an idea. But Masterpiece you can get in any boss fight. Same thing with pixels. Pixels you can get from any boss fight. So as you're farming for this gear, you'll gradually get pixels, and you can always, you know, put these in your shared bank as well, so only one of your characters can craft all the gear for you and then just share it in your shared bank if you're on the same account. Polygons, though, polygons you can't really craft. Those you find across the spiral, not the spiral, but in the world Novus, you'll find them all across the different areas in Novus. Usually they will spawn in like groups of 2. There will be like 2 in each area that you have to look for. Once you find one, there should be one more, unless someone else picked it up, of course. But usually you would just go to like a free realm and go around and find these polygons. We'll kind of give you guys a little strat here shortly. I'll go over that. But this is where you find all of the Aeon gear. So for instance, for fire, they have like the different names. Fire will be the primordial. Death is the macabre. Life is inspired. Fractal is storm. And then we have the dreamscape, the crystalline for ice, abstract for balance. So those are the different types, and they also got like this internal ones that really don't have, you know, their stats are pretty much the same. So if we compare the fire that I'm wearing to the eternal primordial, they're pretty much similar. It's just the eternal one gives more resistance and more block. They also give more accuracy, but they give less damage, if you see here. And if we also compare to life, you know, the life inspired one gives 32 damage, but the eternal one only gives 26. So you can, if you want more resistance, you can trade in your Aeon gear for these ones, but it's not really worth it because if you look at the stats, they're just completely different in stats wise. Like the Eternal compared to the Primordial, yeah. The Primordial is usually the better ones. I think it's the same for the Robe. If you compare the Aeon Robe to the Eternal Robe, let me go ahead and compare it for you guys here. So here's the Eternal. The Eternal does give more health. It gives more power, but 1% less resistance. It gives 1% less accuracy, less crit, and same damage. But it doesn't even give you Pierce. That's the only issue with the Eternal. They don't give you the Pierce, and we all know we want the Pierce. Also, if you look at the sockets, they're a little bit different. For the Eternal, it's 2 powers and a sword. But for the Primordial, the Aeon gear, it is 2 swords and a power. So, I mean, you can probably go for the Eternal gear just for, like, maybe different setups. Especially for the sockets. You can definitely have different setups for the sockets and do different things with that. But if you want to do that, you can. But I like the Aeon gear because of the Pierce. Even if it gives you less health and less power pip and block. But it's still better, in my opinion, compared to the Eternal. Same thing with the boots. So if we go to the internal boots here, the Eternal Fire boots, they give you less damage, they give you less crit, they don't even give you pierce, but they do give you more resistance. So, I mean, the internal gears just looks like it's more resistance heavy. It also gives you that shield socket, so it's more of the tankier version, I guess, if you look at it. And I think that it gives you overall more power pip as well, but we don't really need to worry about that. And if we look at the internal weapons here, so let me find the eternal primal sword. Here we go. So compared to the eternal and the Aeon, the primal gives you more block, but it doesn't give you as much damage, doesn't give you pierce, and it also gives you a little bit more accuracy. So this gears, the eternal gears, seems to be more like block and accuracy and that kind of thing, instead of like attack like the Aeon gear does. So you mainly want to go for that. You can also get like different versions that gives you different spells, and it is the same for like the amulets and rings and decks. There's pretty much the other versions of this gear, but you mainly want the Aeon gear. So let's go ahead and compare the fire. So if you look at this, the Aeon one gives you more damage, and the internal primal only gives 20 damage, but it gives you a little bit more health, gives you more mana, gives you more power pip, more block, but that damage is lacking. It gives the same amount of, sockets, the same exact sockets. So the Aeon ones are just like slightly better, not too much better, but as you can see here, here's actually the Storm one, and as you can see, you don't really see any differences besides the damage, which is one is life skill, one is death skill. So it honestly is your own personal preference as well. Like if you like to go like a different school as a secondary, you can just trade in your Aeon Athame for, like, if you want your secondary to be Myth, you can just trade it in for the Myth one, and so on. So make sure you guys look through them, and whatever school you're using is like your secondary school, you can just trade in your Aeon one for that. But make sure you double check on the stats, because some of the stats are definitely weaker than the Aeon counterparts. Same thing with the amulets. So yeah, the amulets aren't really great. I looked at it earlier and I was not too impressed about it, especially when they give you dispels, like right here. It gives a lot of health and resistance, but it gives 2 square sockets as well. It's a good amulet for like jading, but it's not really great for anything else but jading. So if you want to be a jade, go ahead and go for like these internals here. They'll be pretty good with the 2 square sockets. So these will be good for if you're jading, not so much anywhere else. Here's the Aeon one. As you compare the Aeon amulet with the Dragoon, yeah, less health, less block. Slightly better resistance, and it also gives you a little bit of the convert there, but yeah, it's pretty much the same sockets as well. The spells aren't as great as Dragoon either, so yeah, not really worth getting. But if you do want to jade, you can farm for the amulets and trade it in for these internal ones, so you get more resistance. Yeah, see, this one's only 5% resistance. The fire one is actually 6%, and plus this one gives 2 square sockets, so it'll be good for fire jade. Same thing for the other schools. I'm pretty sure they're pretty similar. So let's look at the fire rings. So the fire ring, we're just going to compare so you guys can see the differences. Here's the internal version. It gives more health, gives more mana, gives more power pip, same amount of crit, but less damage, way less damage. Only 9% damage, but it gives 9 incoming healing. Again, if you want a Jade, these gears might be this gear might be good, but there's still, like, you know, the Stone of the Other Side. There's still those other rings that give so much more healing outgoing, so it might not actually be worth going for the Eternal rings. But, you know, if you want a Jade and have at least some damage, maybe for PvP, the Eternal will be good to use. But if not used for PvP, I can't see us using this ring, hardly. So, but the Aeon ring, definitely worth getting. Excuse me, I took a drink there for a second. Alright, so yeah, Aeon gear is, again, you guys can see the differences right there. 15 damage compared to 9. And it gives the same amount of sockets. Same sockets. And it's pretty much the same for the other rings. And for the deck here, so here's the Eternal Primal deck. Now this deck gives more health, more block, convert, but it doesn't give you crit like the other spell does. I think there's also multiple versions of Fire too. Like, same thing. Here's one with Fortify. Here's one with the shield. You just gotta look. I think the one was different was the Storm. So there was the Fractured Aeon deck for Storm, which gives the same stats as the other Aeon deck, which is the Fractal Aeon deck, but the Fractured one gives a better card, in my opinion, because if you get the Storm Star Blade, we'll look at that more for you guys in my Storm gear setup. I'll show it to you in more depth, but yeah, pretty much the same stats. I went ahead and got the Fractured one instead of I traded in my Fractal for this one, just for that spell. But it's just personal preference. I mean, if you want the Storm Sharp, you can stick with it. It's, again, yeah, personal preference. Yeah, actually, here is the Fire one. So this one, the deck I'm wearing gives the Fire Elf, but here's the similar ones. Primal Aeon. This one gives the Trap, and this one gives the Infallible. And here's the regular. I just went with the regular because I'm not a big fan of traps. So, I mean, if you want the trap, you can. Again, personal preference. So, you can trade them in to get the other versions. You just got to look through these and see, you know, whether you want to or not. So, yeah. That is where you craft all the gear. Let me go ahead and show you guys how to get the polygons. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these portals up here. So you just gotta use these portals, go to the different areas. Make sure you, while you're questing, if you haven't quested through Novus yet, make sure you keep an eye out. So I'm in an unpopulated realm, since you guys didn't see anyone walk in front of me and stuff. So you really just gotta look around these areas for 2 of the polygons. So, like, for instance, the Puerto Nuevo, you'll see polygons. Like, I see one right here. They're usually in, like, some weird corners. You can get, like, up to, like, 1, 2, 3, maybe more if you get lucky. It just depends. So that's one. So there should be one more on this in this area. I haven't seen any more than 2 when I'm looking for polygons, I've noticed. So you really just gotta go through and look in these corners. They're kind of easy to spot because you'll see like they're like little yellow glow on them, so you'll be able to spot them pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and see if we can find another. Sometimes they will spawn, you know, behind this banana. Just gotta take a peek. Also, the little head is there too. Sometimes it will spawn in this corner. It just depends. It randomly spawns in certain locations. You just gotta keep an eye out. They're usually not in the same spots, so you will have to go ahead and look around. They will spawn in like the same spots from time to time, but not always. So you just have to get lucky and spot them. As for right now, I'm not getting lucky finding these polygons. Let's go ahead and look. Okay, it's not behind a tree. It might be over in that area over there, near the Veil of Perfection. It might be in that section. It could also be up that mountain, but we're not going to go up there because I have a feeling it's going to be on this side. So there should be one more unless someone else picked it up. Okay, yep, there it is. So there's the second polygon, and yeah, we got 2 polygons from that. So you just teleport back and go to the next area. And as you clean out all the areas, you might want to switch realms so they refresh, and then you can find 2 more in each area again. You just keep doing that over and over until you get 20. So let me go ahead and actually I'll head to one more area and search for those 2 just to show you guys, you know, there's only 2 of them. Now, New Victoria, the area is actually kind of tricky because it usually spawns near these fire hydrants within the bushes there. Sometimes it will spawn on the outers as well. Yeah, there's one right there. You can clearly see them though, as you saw this one, because of the sparkles above it. Let's go ahead and get one more. And since we're in New Victoria, I'm going to show you guys a quest line that you guys will need to pick up for the boots, to get the Aeon boots. Since we're already in this area, we'll go ahead and pick that quest up so you guys can see who gives you the quest line to get the Aeon boots. And also the Masterpiece boots. Masterpiece boots and Aeon boots are from the same boss. Same thing with all the other bosses. They're all from the same boss. The Masterpiece version and the Aeon versions. And yeah, you get boots from one boss. You get the Athame from one boss. Okay, here's the second polygons. Here's a little closer view of what they kind of look like. They just change shapes to different polygons. And you just pick it up. And there you go. That's 2 for this area. There won't really be any spawning soon. Maybe in a few minutes it'll respawn. So to get the Aeon boots, the boots here, you need a certain quest line you need to complete, which you got to talk to Lassie. She'll be right here, but you have to complete the main quest line for a certain point in New Victoria, and then Lassie will move. She'll move from the house over here where you talk to the governor guy. I forgot what his name was. But after you do the main quest line, Lassie is usually by this well over here. But at a certain point in the main quest line, I think is when you go towards the dock area over here to fight these dogs of war, is when she'll move locations to over here, or it'll be shortly after that. She'll move in this location right here. So you can pick up this quest as you're going for like the docks or shortly after the docks. You know, she'll be right here by this like tea kettle tree and also the cave. So down the street, you just talk to her. And you'll get a quest line to fight some dogs, and then Clash of Dogs, you just continue that quest line up until you get to Rententen, the boss in La Ville Rose. And once you beat him, you just farm him over and over again. And we'll discuss more on that fight here on my Storm Wizard, though. Since my Storm Wizard completed this quest line already, we're just going to go ahead and do that boss fight on him. So you guys don't have to watch, you know, my fire do the entire quest line. So we're gonna hurry up and go back to the Canetas and switch over to my storm so we guys can show you the boss fight and the cheats Rententen does. So he should be right in front of the dungeon, which he is. So it is the Sour Noise Pass dungeon, that's the name of it, which is right over here near the theater district in the Ville Rose. So once you do the quest line enough, let's go ahead and join these guys up here. So once you're inside the fight, okay, he's backing out. I don't know why. We're just gonna do team up. Okay, team up's a lot better. So again, Rententen is a strange boss. You have to wait till he hits with Snowball Barrage. I'll do this entire fight for you guys so you guys can see. You don't know if he's going to hit right now, but he will give you a Spyglass, which will allow you to see when he does. I'm going to go ahead and attempt just in case he can't kill. But yeah, you'll see his cheat, which will show you when he snowball barrages once you use it. Alright, he puts weaknesses on us. So this boss is pretty annoying because he is a death boss. So he will spam weaknesses on you. And if you hit him at a point where, you know, he doesn't use snowball barrage, you can't hit him. And you'll see in this battle why you can't hit him. Alright, so he's stunned. Just slowly going through this. They should be dead after I hit. Block the crit. Yeah, so his name is Rententen. Just so you guys get a clear view of his name here. Rank 22 death boss. This is where you're gonna farm for the Aeon boots and the Masterpiece boots. Is at this boss. He's the only boss that drops that gear. So yeah, see, when you hit him without him using Snowball Barrage, he just heals himself back up to full pretty much. So, very similar to Don Manzana, except you have to hit him when he hits with Snowball Barrage. That's pretty much the only difference from Don Manzana. And it seems like the weakness didn't pull through all the way, and also they blocked my crit, so yeah. Excuse me. Okay. Trying to decide what to do here. We should be able to. Okay, he's hitting. We're just gonna blade. He should be able to finish those minions off. Okay, this is the time where you guys are supposed to hit. So when he uses Snowball Barrage, he also uses the Frenzy. And that's usually the round you're supposed to hit him. So this death guy got lucky. We didn't know he was going to hit this round, but he used it. And the Snowball Barrage doesn't hit much. As you guys can see, it only hits like 100 to 200. It depends on your resistance. But this will be the only round anyone can hit him without him healing back up. And if you do hit him around late, he will heal back up. So you have to hit him on this round. No questions asked, you do. Otherwise, you're trolling your teammates. Let's just say. Alright, he should be able to finish him off. We'll see here. They did heal with the unicorn. Yep, he did. Alright, now we're just facing Rententen. So usually once the minions are defeated for this fight, he will use his cheat and give you a spyglass, which you can then use to see when he uses Snowball Barrage. That way you know when to hit him. Now, it is up to fate, you know, in this fight when he uses it. It's just completely random. There's no set amount of rounds he uses it. So, it could be the next round. It could be 10 rounds later. It could be 20 rounds later. You just never know in this fight until he gives you that spell. Let's go ahead and keep blading here. Seems like this balance is blading me. Yeah, he just says you can't spy on a legendary spy. It gives you the legendary spy card, which you will need to use on him to see when he uses Snowball Barrage. And the spell is active for 99 rounds, as you guys can read on the card. So only one person on the team needs to use the card to see when he uses Snowball Barrage. It works kind of similar to Beguile, but he's not Beguiled, but you can see what Rententen is going to do. We'll show an example of that shortly. Once someone this round on our team uses the card, I'm actually going to discard some. Alright, so our myth guy's going to use it, so I'm just going to Frenzy. That way we can see when he uses his Snowball Barrage. Also, you don't want to guess when he's going to use it either, because you never know. And again, you'll pretty much waste all your pips and all your blades, because he will just heal himself back up. Even if you try to one-shot him, he'll heal himself back up. So you guys got to be careful. One-shotting does not work. He will just heal back up. Yeah, as you guys can see, there's a spyglass. It was already used by the death guy, so the myth guy just wasted his turn. That's why you gotta only have one person on the team use it, so some guy's not wasting his turn. Okay, so now we wait till him to use Snowball Barrage, which he doesn't use it this round. He's going to use Winged Sorrow. Just going to discard and just use Stormblade again. Now we just wait and just pray for him to use it so we can all hit him and just defeat him. So, yeah, and this guy's taking a long time to do his turn. And this video will probably be pretty long, mainly due for me showing you guys, you know, the actual boss fights. So, and there is 4 boss fights in total. There's the Rententen fight, there's the Duelist, which you go for the ring and amulets, and you got Manticore Madness for the robe, hat, and wand. And then you got the Don Manzana fight for the deck besides this one. So, just a few different ones. And he's just plaguing us right now. All I can do really is just pass and just collect pips, because we can't hit him right now. Again, like I said, this fight is just completely random when you use the Snowball Barrage. So we just gotta be patient on this fight. Alright, so here's the new blade I was talking about earlier, the Star Blade. Plus 35 to next, you know, life, death, and storm spell. I got that for the deck instead of the others. And also my Storm has 99% power pip because of the deck. And he's been getting power pips pretty much every turn anyways, so as long as you have like 99%, you'll pretty much be okay. But there's really that 1% chance of you getting a bad pip. Yeah, there we go. He's using a mass feint. We're gonna use Frenzy again. Just gotta have patience. You guys can see how annoying this fight can be. You're pretty much gonna be passing most of the time. Again, we're gonna be passing this round again. My pips are all full. I don't know what this Luke guy is doing. He's probably grabbing a drink or something. Okay. Weakness again. Alright. Snowball Barrage. Alright, this is a time where we hit. Is exactly when he uses the Snowball Barrage, thanks to the spy thing he gave us earlier. This is where you want to use it and hit him, and is the only round where you can damage him. So you gotta make sure you have enough blades, but when he does use Snowball Barrage, you want to hit, just so you can weaken him a little bit, just for the next time you use the Snowball Barrage, because you never know, it's completely random. It could be the next round, could be, you know, 10 rounds later. So it's best just to use it whenever he uses Snowball Barrage. And it's a pretty weak spell. It's like it showed on the feed. It was like 150 per pip, or just 150 damage. Yeah, see, use the feint, and I got Frenzy. He only hit 500 on me. And this death guy's gonna use all the feints, which is fine. Because even without those feints, I think I should be able to kill. And he one-shot him with the Wraith, that's good. He only has 14k health, so that is it for Rententen for the boots. So this is where you're gonna get the boots fight. As you guys can see, we got pixels as well. You pretty much get it for all the boss fights. Sometimes you do not get boots. Sometimes you just get reagents. It happens. You just gotta get lucky to get either Masterpiece or those boots. Since we didn't get that time, you'll have to keep going and go over and over. But that is where you get the boots. Let me go ahead and switch back to a different character here. We're gonna go and look at Maxine. So again, Rententen is the boss. You go for the side quest, which I showed you guys on Blake, the Dogs of War quest line, and you'll eventually reach there. So again, back to the main story. So the other dungeons is with the main quest line. So you'll have to get to each of these other dungeons through the main quest line, and you'll go through them in the main quest line. So you unlock them. So this is Maxine's office. So Maxine drops the Athame, or the Athame, however you pronounce it, but she will drop the Athames and the Masterpiece ones. So let's go ahead and queue up and see if anyone will join us in this fight. It's a pretty popular dungeon, so it shouldn't take us too long to get into some fights here, and we'll show you guys her cheats so you guys can be prepared and battle when you face her. If you already know her cheats, you can go ahead and skip through here and continue to after the Maxine fight to look at the next dungeon if you're not up for watching me fight her. So again, we're just been showing her cheats, or if you guys want to see the fight, feel free to stay and watch the whole fight. But otherwise, it's pretty much a simple battle. So you guys will see here shortly. But yeah, to get the thing, is Maxine. Get the boots is Rententen, and we'll discuss for the rest of the gear later in this video, and we'll kind of wrap it up at the end, going over all the bosses again. Okay. So it looks like there's only one other person. That's fine. You should be able to easily do this with 2 people. We just got to make sure we knock out the minions pretty quick. And we can easily just AoE the Maxine and her twin sister pretty much. I like it calling her the twin sister because, yeah, you guys will see here soon. 30 seconds later. Let's go ahead and show you guys my myth stats so far. So he also has Aeon gear. He should be at 199 damage, but that's because my Gulcher mounts, I don't have a myth Gulcher, so we only got the 2% damage. But it should be 199 if you have the myth Gulcher. 53 resist, yeah. 33, 51 armor pierce, 99 power. Like I said, the hitting schools kind of got 99 power with these new gear sets. Alright, there's a death person. Let's go ahead and get in this fight with them. Once they go in first, they should have more resistance than me. Yeah. We did not pull a hit. Alright, he's got the hit. Discard one of those. We'll use a blade. I'm just gonna hope that he's able to finish him off here. So Maxine uses invulnerability at the start. We won't be able to take it off her until all the minions are gone. And the minions can stun you, and she will weakness you and stuff, so... Or the minions will weakness you because there's Storm and Death. And they block the critical. That's not great. Hopefully we pull a 4-pip AoE next round to finish them off. But I believe the overtime will finish the majority of the minions anyways, so we'll see. So far we got some lucky. They're only using Infallible and Stormblade. Because a lot of times they'll use Stormlord and stun everybody. And Maxine uses Shadow and Death, so she'll also use a bunch of weakness spells on you. Okay, we did pull a Humongo. Let's go ahead and use it. Finish off the minion since this third minion here blocked the guy's critical, so it won't be finished this round, and we don't want to be stunned. So might as well get rid of them. And myth boosts in this fight, so it's all good. Alright, so now minions are dead. Maxine will get rid of her invulnerability. Which she should here shortly. Yeah, as soon as we go through this round, she will get rid of it. Yep. She summons a copy of herself, which is also a shadow boss. And then once this round's over, she removes her invulnerability. So you don't want to hit the round after you get rid of the minions, because she's not going to get rid of it yet. Until right now. As you guys see. Okay, now we should be free to hit her. Again, there's just another shadow boss who has the same amount of health pretty much as she does, just 2 less than her. So we pretty much just blade up and use AoEs to get them both out of here. Yeah, this boss fight shouldn't take us too long. He's hitting, I'm gonna hit with him. Maxine should be pretty close after both of our hits, since she's got the frenzy on. Actually, I think we can get both of them. He hit 10k, so 11k on Maxine. Maxine's for sure gone. Plus, I have belief in my Myth Wizard that he'll be able to finish this, so should be a pretty quick and easy fight. Plus, he's got 51 Pierce. Yep. And do we get lucky and get the... Yep, we did. So we got the Crystalline Masterpiece Athame. It's not the Aeon one, but if you collect 9 of these, you'll be able to craft the Aeon piece. So that's usually what you guys will be looking for, is 9 pieces of those gear. But sometimes you'll get the Aeon drop. Depends on your luck. So that's the Athame. Let me quickly get rid of that because we already have all the Athames on all my characters. We'll showcase those more on the 160 gear setups video. So let's quickly switch back to my fire because we went over 2 of the boss fights. Actually, we need to go to my death. My bad. So let's go to death and go to Puerto Nuevo. So at Puerto Nuevo, in the main quest line, you'll reach the governor's safe room, which is right here, kind of near where you fight in the air blimp there. Should be shortly before that. Actually, it's a quest right before that. Right after you fight in the army tent here, you get the quest to go here inside the governor's safe room, which you face off Don Manzana for the decks. So for the Aeon decks, which right here, here's a death version. You'll go in here, just so you guys can see my death stats. It's 199 damage, pretty much exactly the same as Myth. If my Myth guy had the Gulcher mount, but he's got 55 resistance, 31, yeah, 46 armor pierce, less than Myth, 100% power pip. So like I said, all the hitting skills got like 99%. Let me quickly grab some health because he was farming Don Manzana earlier. If we don't find it, that's fine. Okay, there's the wisp right here. Usually there will be some health wisp, and I recommend you guys fighting this boss fight with 3 pip spells. So here's his deck set up. So you want to pack your deck with 3 pips or less. Headless Horseman is good, because, and same thing with Deer Knight, because those are 3 death pip spells, which work fine in this boss fight. You guys will see shortly. Also, here's a spell you get for keeping this deck, which is, it gives like, it does damage and it clears 2 charms, and also put -25 and heals. So decent spell. I mean, just y'all's preference if you want to keep the Aeon deck or switch out with the other decks. So yeah, let's go ahead and head for this boss fight to show you how it goes. It's pretty much a normal fight as long as you have 3 pip spells. So as long as you have 3 pips or less spells in your deck, this boss fight's pretty clean. Especially if you're a Death Wizard, because you can just heal yourself pretty easily. But it is definitely a soloable boss. You don't really need to team up much for this fight. That's why you don't see many people, you know, around here queuing up together. We did not pull any blades at all. That's fine. Don Manzana will occasionally heal himself, and the death minions will feint you quite a bit. they can also weakness you. So just gotta be prepared for that. Let's go ahead and discard one of those Deer Knights. Mainly be using Ship of Fools for health. And he just uses the Wraith spell. Okay. Since we have a lot of pips, I'm just going to go ahead and use a Ship of Fools right now. Also, he has a feint on the minion, so we should be pretty close to getting him out of the way. And my health should be close to full. Okay, he uses the -20, but that's not going to be an issue because my death has 46 pierce with the Aeon gear, so shouldn't be too big of an issue here. He did block though, so we may need to hit with another spell. Okay, even with the block, he's dead. Yeah, see, he says Akka can't handle low-grade tactics. So if you do use Tempest, or if you do use some spell that use multiple pips, it will trigger to cheat, but it doesn't trigger as long as it's 3 pips or lower. So as long as it's 3 pips or lower, you can use the spell. Okay, let's switch this to Storm because we're going to be using our new spell here shortly for this fight. We also need to find more blades. Okay, we don't need that many Ship of Fools. He does use Lord of the Jungle quite a bit in this fight, and also the, I forgot what the dog is, but he does use that as well. He doesn't have that high of base damage, so he doesn't hit super hard as long as you don't have like a feint on you and he doesn't have a life blade. Should be okay. Alright, so there we go. We got the Gravestorm. We also got some blades. And he also uses Caterpillar too, from time to time. Like he's using it right now. But he only really uses those 3 Shadow Pip spells. The Lord of Jungle, Caterpillar, and that one dog. Those are like his most used spells he usually uses. And the rest of the time he pretty much just heals himself. So, or blades, which you guys will see from time to time. We are going ahead and think I'm going to use Gravestorm already because I'm not seeing any of my blades and I just want to get some of these hits in with all these pips. Decent hit. Alright, we conserved the pip. Now we're getting our spells. We're going to use Headless Horseman now, just so we can get rid of some of our pips. We also have Frenzy on. Yep, there we go. He does like to heal. We'll see that from time to time. And Headless Horseman does work. Some people still think it's 5 pips, but it's not. It's 3 pips now. 3 pip, death pip. So it does work for this fight, as you guys will be able to see. See, he doesn't use his cheat. So his cheat, I don't think I mentioned it, but his cheat is that he heals himself just like Rententen. He heals himself back to full health. So if you try to one-shot him, you'll just heal up back to full health. If you use any pips more, or any spell more than 3 pips, he'll just heal himself back with full. So you gotta use spells 3 pips or less to kill him. Maybe annoying for some people, but you'll get used to this fight. We're gonna go ahead and blade up and try to finish him off. Alright, one of those heals should go away. Oh, nope, it didn't. It's probably gonna go right in like 2 rounds. But we need to blade up a little bit more. I'm gonna go for a Headless Horseman shortly. Go ahead and Frenzy, since we're stacking up a lot of pips. And we'll hit next round. Again, he uses Unicorn. He does like using Unicorn quite a bit in this fight. Alright, let's go ahead and use the Headless Horseman. Oh, if it'll let me click him. There we go. Now he should be pretty close to being dead after I use it. We should be able to use another one back to back. And like I said, as long as you finish him off, it's okay. You'll be able to get health lists outside the dungeon if you need quick health. But it's pretty easy for Death School to solo this fight. There we go, we hit him 10k and he's down for the count. Did we get lucky? We did not get lucky. But yeah, this fight, like I said, every fight drops pixels and these guys are screaming at me because I have a lot of space that's taken up for the jewels. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab a health wisp and switch back to my fire wizard to go to the last 2 dungeons. So again, Manzana, you come here for the deck. So he drops the Aeon decks, he also drops the Masterpiece decks, and it's through the main quest line. So if you want this deck, you have to go through the main quest line to unlock it. And also you have to farm him quite a bit. Sometimes you get lucky getting decks, sometimes you don't get decks. That happens on all the fights. Sometimes you get lucky getting those, and other times you don't. So it's just all based on luck. And a lot of times you might get duplicates of the same Aeon gear, and it just happens. So let's go ahead and head towards the Nucleus Gallery next. This is where the final 2 dungeons will be going to for the rest of the gear. So we're mainly going to be at the Dueling Space dungeon and the Manticore's Madness dungeon. So we'll go for the Dueling Space dungeon first because it's simpler. The Manticore's Madness dungeon, it's a pretty unique fight. We'll go over the cheats and things in that fight after this one. But for the Dueling Space drops the amulets, so the Aeon charms here, and they also drop the Aeon ring. So for fire, it's a primordial Aeon ring. They have different names for each school. But yeah, this is where you get the Aeon amulet and the Aeon rings. You can also get the masterpiece of each one in this dungeon. Let's go ahead and queue us up. But for the rest of the gear will be Manticore's Madness. We'll get to that shortly. I'm going to show you guys this cheat. I'm going to skip the minion fights in the video so you guys don't watch me fight the minions. We'll just skip all the way to the boss fight. So I will see you guys when we reach the boss fight. Alright guys, welcome back to the fight. So we're going to be fighting Daisen with these people here in the group. So be prepared to bring a potion just in case the second group of minions stun you guys and damage you guys quite a bit before this fight. So yeah, nothing too bad. Kill him 3 times. Alright, so here we go. So this boss fight, you have to defeat him like 3 times, and then he'll finally be done. So let's go ahead and do that. And try to knock out these minions. I don't know why he's blading the second guy, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and hit. I don't know why they didn't blade me, but it's fine. So yeah, again, this first fight, once you defeat him the first time, he'll use Meteor, and he's around half health the second time he's up. And then once you defeat him a third time, he'll use the Rain of Fire spell. And then after the third time you defeat him, he is finally done for. So you gotta defeat him 3 times to defeat him. So yeah. The cheats aren't bad either, like the Meteor and the Rain of Fire. They aren't that powerful, so you don't really have to worry about them. Just gotta worry about these minions and try to get them out of the way. Just so they don't stun you and annoy you guys. So that's pretty much all you gotta do in this fight. And just make sure you're hitting on rounds where your teammate doesn't already finish the boss off, and using the spell once he's back. That way this fight can progress more smoothly. And you guys see what I mean here soon. I think this fire guy next to me, he's probably going to finish him off next round. I'm guessing with an AoE. Or I'm hoping he will anyways. Oh, he blocked my critical. Yeah, if I had the blade, we could have finished them all off, but they didn't blade me. That's fine. Alright, Death Guy's gonna finish minions off. Design Duelist is down about 2k, so he's got a little ways. The Fire Guy's probably gonna go for a 1-hit on Design. And the Storm Guy should be able to finish him off for the second time, and I should be able to clean up for the third time. That's why we want to finish these minions off quickly, because they will heal and stuff. And he fizzled. And they're all hitting me, of course, since I hit previously and he fizzled, so we'll be a little low, but we should be okay. I'm also saving the last potion I have for Manticore Madness before I go into that dungeon on Blake, so... And stay tuned for the 160 gear sets on all my characters, guys. I'll be releasing them shortly after this video. All of them should be released. Since we're just going over, you know, their stats and their gear and, you know, what I use for the spells. You guys get a look into that. And that's for all schools, all 7 of them. Since we got all 7 maxed and we got all 7 with the Aeon. Yeah, a lot of overtimes in this fight. Alright, he should be dead with this. Oh, he barely survived? Okay. Okay, I forgot to put some treasure cards in this deck, but that's okay. Otherwise we could have used the TC. Is he gonna hit? He is... I'm gonna pass. Yep, and there we go, he heals again. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and hit. There we go. And now we just gotta finish him off, and we should be done with this fight. I don't think the Storm God's gonna be able to hit at all. Poor guy. He never got to use a spell. Now let's see if we can get a drop from here. We weren't able to show the other two drops. We were able to show, actually we were able to show the Athame, but not the boots. Or the, we weren't able to show the deck either, but again, it's all luck. There we go. Let's see if we get any ring or amulets here. I'm more hoping for amulets because we already got rings for all the characters. Let's get some. We did get an amulet. We got the abstract amulet. So we didn't get anything else. So yeah, let's go ahead and heal up, and we'll show you guys the next fight. So that is for the amulet and the ring. Once again, the dueling space that we guys just saw. So we will go to Manticore's Madness. Let me make sure I put in these TCs actually before we go in. Just fill in all these with elemental blades. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and team up. So Manticore Madness actually is for the hat, the robe, and the wands. So if you want the hat, robe, and wands, you go to Manticore's Madness, which is the very last dungeon in Novus. So once you get there, in the main quest line, you farm this dungeon for the hat, robe, and wand. Let me go ahead and team up so we can get in there pretty quick. This fight's pretty popular right now when I'm recording this, so it should be easy to find some people for it. So yeah, this is where you get the hat, the Aeon hat, Aeon robes, and Aeon swords. You also get the masterpiece versions, so each fight you really only get like 1 to 2 pieces. You rarely get 2 pieces at one time. If you get more than that, you're so lucky, because I've tried this so many times, never got more than 2. If it does give you 2, it's usually like a wand and a hat at the same time. But yeah, I haven't seen the robe and the wand at the same time. I think I got a robe and a hat at once, but usually they're masterpiece gear. So we'll just have to see. So I'll check up on you guys once we get in here, because I don't know how long it's going to be. Usually there's a lot of people in here. Alright guys, welcome back. So we are inside the Manticore's Madness, and we'll show you guys what you should do for this fight. So this fight's kind of special. Let's go ahead and discard what we don't need and pass right away. So first round, you usually just want to, you know, if you get epic, use it on a card. If you get, you know, sharpen, use it on a card. Quickly pass, because first round, the boss is going to devour everyone. And then once the first round is over, we'll be using our spells and pips. So we transformed into a penguin. So you need to follow a specific guideline or specific rules to hit a boss. So if you're the penguin, you need to hit the unicorn. If you are a unicorn, you need to hit the monkey. If you are the monkey, you need to hit the penguin. And if you're the dog, the balance, you got to hit the dog. So you really want to follow this. You want to follow pump, which is penguin hits unicorn, unicorn hits monkey, monkey hits penguin. As long as you remember pump for this Manticore fight, you'll be okay. Make sure you change your pips as well to that school that you're changed into. Like the penguin is death and ice. The unicorn is storm and life. The monkey is fire and myth. And the penguin, which we already know. The dog is balance, of course. So yeah, you gotta follow those guidelines. You gotta change your pips. Make sure you do so you don't get all your pips in one school. You want to change your pips constantly every single round. So keep an eye on your spells so you make sure you can hit the correct character. You want to defeat the specific guy. So let me discard some spells. So like these spells is Death's Pips, Ice Pip, Myth Pip. I already got a Death Pip because I switched it. So you just click this little icon above here to switch to the spell you want. So we want maybe an Ice Pip next. So we click Ice. And now we can use these spells. So I'm going to go ahead and boost myself with this aura. And we're going to want to hit the unicorn. And once the unicorn's dead, we will go back to our wizard form. And we can finish off the remaining 3 bosses. So we pretty much just kill one boss in this form. And then you'll change back to your wizard forms where you can blade up and AoE the remaining of the bosses. So you just want to blade maybe 1 to 2 rounds and hit all at once with AoEs. You don't really need to heal this battle because you automatically get 30k health at the start. So you won't really lose too much health while you're transformed or polymorphed in a way. So yeah. And the big boss in the background, the big mutant-like monster, he will occasionally hit us, but he doesn't hit too hard. So don't really have to worry about him. He shoots some lasers through those horns. You'll see it from time to time. We could use Claw from above, but I'm going to save another pip. We're going to go for a Myth Pip here next and pass. Those guys are already going to hit. I'm going to save for next round and hit. And as you can see, they're both hitting the unicorn boss. Like I said, as long as you follow Pump, P-U-M-P, which stands for penguin hits unicorn, unicorn hits monkey, and monkey hits penguin. And dog hits dog. Dog is pretty simple. You just hit the dog. But as long as you remember Pump and dog is on its own and it's lonesome, you'll be okay. We don't worry about the dog. Because dog is just dog. Simple as that. Okay. Again, you don't really need to worry about your health. These polymorphs usually have good resistance. That Deer Knight does do weakness, though. It can get annoying, but it's okay. Okay. Yeah, this fight shouldn't take too long though, since he's already half health with just those 2 attacking him. Let's go ahead and do Death Pip again so we can hit relatively quick after we use this spell. So yeah, you just gotta keep an eye on your pips, keep an eye on your spells, and you'll be fine this fight. Just make sure you don't actually duplicate pips unless you actually need to, so you can help your team out. Roughly 3k damage, not too bad. Yeah, every time he roars, the big guy in the back uses lasers. Okay, let's go ahead and do Storm and pass. So we can hit next. He might be dead this round, actually. I'm gonna go for... we'll just keep it Storm, because it doesn't really matter. We can switch to Fire soon. But I believe the Unicorn should be dead this round. And we should be back in our Wizard form shortly. Alright, he should be dead, so we should be able to go to our wizard form here to finish off the rest. Yep, here we go. We are all in our wizard form now. So let's go ahead and blade. Let's change this back to fire to our school. There we go. Okay. I think we are gonna boost up a little bit more. And then hit next round. Just to make sure. Good thing we did, because he used Deer Knight, which puts the weakness on us. Here comes the big bad boy with his lasers. Probably gonna hit 1k. Yep, it's about 1k, 1.3k. That's every few rounds. Okay, let's use our dragon. If everyone uses AoE at one time, it should be able to finish off the bosses once we're all bladed up after 2 rounds. You can shoot for AoEs after 1 round. Just depends on your group. That's a lot of myth traps I had on myself that's stacked. It didn't do much damage though. And getting rid of all those orbs. Awesome, she bladed me. Good hit. Seems like the ice has died. Yep. Our storm should be able to finish them off. There we go. Let's see what we get. So we should either get, you know, a wand, a robe. Yeah, we got a wand. So we got the Aeon Death Sword. Alright, yeah. So we got the Aeon wand. This is the wand for the Death Skull, but we already have it, so we don't really need it. But yeah, you usually only get one piece, and you do get a lot of treasure cards, a lot of spell modes for this fight, and reagents. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. Just click through them. Sorry about my spacebar. It's a mechanical keyboard, so my spacebar is kind of loud. But yeah, that is the wand, as you guys can see. So let's go back to Kanada's and yeah, close the video here. So again, for those who didn't see the beginning of the video, to craft the gear, once you get 9 pieces of masterpieces gear, once you get all the polygons and all the pixels, come to Louise here and craft the gear for all of them. For all the Aeon gear is right here. If you don't like the Aeon gear you get, you can always exchange it for a different piece, but be careful because the stats will be different for each kind of gear. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. There's different types that gives different spells, so make sure you get the one you want, especially for PvP. For PvP, I can see you guys maybe getting multiple pieces of Aeon gear, just so you can exchange it for the other types, for the other spells, so you can go for different setups, which will be a-okay, all fine for you. I mean, PvP, I know how competitive PvP can be, but yeah, you can definitely do some different kinds of setups with all that. So that is where you guys get the gear for the new best gear in the game for 160. That's where you get the Aeon Athame at Maxine. You get the Aeon Boots at Rententen, which is a side quest boss, and you get that quest from Lassie. And then you get the Aeon Cape, the Aeon Helm, and Aeon Wand. You get all of those from the Manticore's Madness dungeon, which is the very last dungeon, which we just did and showed you guys. And you get the Aeon Ring and the Aeon, you get the Aeon Amulet. I don't have it equipped currently, but you get the Aeon Amulet, you get the Aeon Ring from the dueling boss that we just showed. So that is all the pieces of the Aeon gear and where to get all those pieces. I hope this video helped you guys in knowing how to get each one, and also helped you guys with the boss fights and knowing the cheats and what pieces you can get. Again, you can get both Aeon and Masterpiece from those boss fights of the specific gear, and you can craft the gear once you get enough pixels, get enough polygons, and enough Masterpiece. You can craft the Aeon gear, and you can exchange that gear for different types. But mainly you just want to get the Aeon gear because it gives a lot more pierce, and the stats are just overall better for damage. But you could go a different route if you Jade and get the other types. So there's a lot you can do with it, but that's usually what you want to go for is Aeon. So hope this video helps, and we'll see you guys in the next time for the gear setups for all of my level 160 characters. Peace out.